So now we need to try these out. Find the discriminant of the quadratic equation and then describe the number and type of solutions. And then for big ideas, you actually have to solve for the x value, so we're going to solve it all the way. So you'll see the three things that I'm going to do here. Now the discriminant, we're using b squared minus 4ac. Remember to set each equation equal to 0 if it's not already set equal to 0, so you can identify a, b, and c. So let's identify a, b, and c. A is the 1, B is negative 6, and C is 10. Now we're going to plug it into this b squared minus 4ac. So this is negative 6 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 10. So this is 36 minus 4 times 10, or 36 minus 40, which is negative 4. So that's the first thing it asks for. What's the value of the discriminant? It's negative 4. Now remember, when b squared minus 4ac, when that's greater than 0, you have two real solutions. When it's equal to 0, you have one real solution. And when it's less than 0, you have two imaginary solutions. Okay, so this is negative 4. That means I have two imaginary solutions. And then we actually need to solve all the way. So we can plug it in. X equals, remember the quadratic formula, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So this becomes a positive 6 plus or minus the square root. Now we already calculated the discriminant. So I'm just going to plug in this negative 4. I don't have to do the work. I already did it right here. So it just goes inside the square root. Then this is all over 2 times 1. So x equals 6. Plus or minus square root of negative 4 is 2i over 2. Then we can simplify. So 2 goes into 6 and 2 also goes into 2. So x equals 3 plus or minus just I. Okay, letter B, we have x squared minus 6x plus 9. That's already set equal to 0. So a equals 1, b equals negative 6, c equals 9. So we plug it in, negative 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times positive 9. So this is 36 minus 36 equals 0. So 0 means I have one real solution. And then I need to solve all the way. So we plug it into the quadratic formula. X equals negative 6 is a positive 6 plus or minus the square root of 0. I already solved for it. Times 2 times 1. So notice that 2 plus or minus square root of 0, that's just 0. It's a plus or minus 0. There's nothing that changes there. So x equals 6 over 2, or x equals 3, which is one real solution. The last one, we have x squared minus 6x plus 8. So a is 1, b is negative 6, and c is positive 8. So we have negative 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 8. So that's 36 minus 32 equals 4. So that is greater than 0. So we have two real solutions. And so let's plug it in and solve. So x equals 6 plus or minus the square root of, and we already solved for it, 4, all over 2 times 1. So this becomes x equals 6 plus or minus 2 over 2. And then you can solve all the way. Now you could just reduce if you want from here, making sure that you can divide into both. That's fine too. So 2 goes into 6, 3, and then 2 goes into 2, 1. So this is 3 plus or minus 1. So 3 plus 1 is 4, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So x equals 4 and x equals 2. And notice we have two real solutions. So go ahead and try numbers 7, 9, and 10. All right, if you tried this out, you'd have gotten, for number 7, one real solution because it equals 0. So when you solve all the way, you get x equals negative 1. For number 9, you get negative 196, so two imaginary solutions, and you get x equals 4 plus or minus 7i over 5. Number 10, you get 177, so you get two real solutions, so x equals 3 plus or minus square root of 177 over 14.